Have you ever wondered about the world's most infamous drug lords and the empires they built? How did they rise to power? And what tactics did they use to maintain control? From the ruthless violence of Pablo Escobar to the innovative smuggling methods of Amado Carrillo Fuentes, the stories of these drug cartels are as fascinating as they are horrifying. Drug cartels have become a worldwide threat in the modern era, with their illegal activities penetrating into every aspect of society. These organizations, with their immense power and wealth, have caused chaos, violence, and destruction across the globe. Join us as we delve into the dark world of drug trafficking and explore the top 5 drug cartels of all time. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe to our channel and don't forget to hit that bell icon for more interesting videos like this. So without further delay, let's get straight into the video. Number 5. King of Cocaine, Pablo Escobar. Pablo Escobar, the infamous drug lord known as the King of Cocaine, was born in 1949 in Medellin, Colombia. He started his criminal career as a small-time smuggler, but quickly rose to power in the Medellin Cartel, one of the most powerful drug trafficking organizations in the world. At the height of his power in the 1980s, he was responsible for producing and distributing 80% of the world's cocaine, and was estimated to have a net worth of over $30 billion. Escobar's reign was characterized by violence and ruthlessness, earning him a reputation as one of the most feared men in the world. He ordered the deaths of thousands of people, including politicians, judges, journalists, and police officers. In 1989, he even bombed a commercial airline, killing all 107 people on board in an attempt to kill a political rival. Despite his violent tactics, Escobar was seen by many Colombians as a Robin Hood-like figure. He provided jobs and services to the poor in his hometown and was celebrated for his philanthropic efforts. However, his drug empire was responsible for massive social and health problems, including addiction, crime, and death. In 1993, Colombian authorities finally hunted down and killed Escobar, putting an end to his reign of terror. Today, his legacy remains a topic of controversy, with some still viewing him as a hero and others as a villain. Nevertheless, his life and the Medellin cartel's rise to power have been the subject of numerous books, documentaries, and TV shows highlighting the profound impact of drug trafficking on society. Number 4. El Chapo, Joaquin Archibaldo Guzman Lara. Joaquin Archibaldo Guzman Lara, known as El Chapo, was the leader of the infamous Sinaloa cartel in Mexico. He began his career in the drug trade in the 1980s and quickly rose through the ranks to become the leader in the early 2000s. El Chapo was notorious for his cunning and brutality, having ordered the deaths of numerous rivals and law enforcement officials, earning him a fearsome reputation. However, his ability to bribe officials and politicians, coupled with his charismatic personality, allowed him to evade capture for many years, even after his multiple prison escapes. In 2016, Mexican authorities finally captured him, and he was extradited to the United States, where he faced multiple charges related to drug trafficking and violence. El Chapo was convicted and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, but the Sinaloa cartel continues to be one of the most powerful drug trafficking organizations in the world. El Chapo's story has been told in various books, documentaries, and TV shows, highlighting the dangers of organized crime and the lengths that drug lords will go to maintain their empires. His rise to power and eventual downfall had become a cautionary tale about the need for strong law enforcement efforts to combat drug trafficking. Number 3. The Godmother, Griselda Blanco. Griselda Blanco, also known as the Godmother, was a Colombian drug lord who was one of the most ruthless and violent figures in the history of the drug trade. Born in 1943 in Cartagena, Colombia, she began her criminal career as a pickpocket before moving into drug trafficking in the 1970s. Blanco was responsible for importing large quantities of cocaine into the United States, and she was known for her violent tactics, ordering the murders of numerous rivals and associates. She was also involved in the infamous Miami Drug Wars, a series of violent clashes between rival drug traffickers in the 1970s and 1980s. Despite her brutal tactics, Blanco was able to evade law enforcement for many years, thanks in part to her ability to bribe officials and manipulate the legal system. However, she was eventually arrested in 1985 and sentenced to 20 years in prison. She was later released in 2004 and deported to Colombia, where she was assassinated in 2012 at the age of 69. Blanco's legacy remains controversial, with some seeing her as a powerful figure who broke through the male-dominated drug trade, while others view her as a ruthless criminal who caused untold damage to communities and families. Number 2. Superfly, Frank Lucas. Frank Lucas, also known as Superfly, was an American drug lord who rose to prominence in the 1960s and 1970s. He was born in 1930 in North Carolina and moved to Harlem, New York in the 1940s. He began his criminal career as a driver and enforcer for the infamous gangster Bumpy Johnson before becoming a drug trafficker in his own right. Lucas is best known for his role in the heroin trade, which he controlled through a network of connections in Southeast Asia. He was known for his flamboyant style, including wearing designer suits and driving expensive cars. He was also known for his violent tactics, including ordering the murders of rivals and associates. Lucas was eventually arrested in 1975 and sentenced to 70 years in prison. However, he cooperated with law enforcement and provided information that led to the conviction of numerous other drug traffickers. He was released from prison in 1991 and lived a quiet life until his death in 2019. Lucas's story was the inspiration for the 2007 film American Gangster, which starred Denzel Washington as Lucas and received critical acclaim for its portrayal of the drug trade in the 1970s. Number 1. Lord of Skies, Amado Carrillo Fuentes. Amado Carrillo Fuentes, also known as the Lord of the Skies, was a Mexican drug lord who was one of the most powerful figures in the Mexican drug trade in the 1990s. He was born in 1956 in Sinaloa, Mexico, and started his career in the drug trade in the 1980s. Fuentes was known for his innovative smuggling methods, including using a fleet of Boeing 727s to transport drugs from Colombia to Mexico. He was also known for his connections to high-level government officials, which allowed him to operate with relative impunity for many years. However, his luck ran out in 1997, when he died during a botched plastic surgery operation in Mexico City. His death is shrouded in mystery, with some speculating that he was murdered by rivals or government officials. His death led to a power vacuum in the Mexican drug trade, which contributed to the rise of the brutal drug war that continues to this day. Fuentes' story has been the subject of numerous books, films, and TV shows, and his legacy continues to fascinate people around the world. His innovative smuggling methods and connections to high-level officials make him a unique figure in the history of the drug trade. In short, the stories of these drug cartels are not just tales of criminality and violence, but also represent the impact of the drug trade on society. From the streets of Medellin to the alleys of Harlem, these figures have left a lasting mark on history, inspiring countless books, movies, and TV shows. The world of drugs and drug trafficking is a complex and multifaceted one, and the legacy of these drug lords continues to impact society even today. However, their stories also serve as a cautionary tale, highlighting the devastating consequences of the drug trade and the importance of fighting against its spread. While their names may live on in infamy, we must never forget the harm caused by their actions and work towards creating a safer and more just society. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching this video about the most notorious drug cartels in history. We hope you found it informative and eye-opening. What are your thoughts on these infamous drug lords and their impact on the world? We encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content.